Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Hegfreeze here. Today I am bringing you 4 fresh and really cool entitled parent stories. Keywords include car crash, school disaster, arcade, and coming out of the closet. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories. Entitled mother tries to blame my family for her being on the phone and causing a car crash. So, back in February of 2015, my family's dog unexpectedly passed in the span of a day, and my parents, my brother and I decided that we had a great home for a dog, and we just could not have one in our house. It was too empty. Only mention this because it kind of shows how happy we were to have a dog, relevant later. Unfortunately, at the time, most of the rescues we looked into required a home visit, and my parents were just not comfortable with having a stranger walk around, so we looked into a breeder. Calm down. Their second dog is a rescue. The breeder we found was about 4 to 5 hours away, but the dog she matched us with was perfect, so we didn't mind. We are constantly having phone interviews, exchanging emails and photos, just generally ecstatic and glad we found such a great fit. The dog we were picking up was 7 months old and just a sweetheart. We decided with the breeder on the next weekend as the time to pick up our new addition, maybe 6 weeks after my old dog had passed. Sadly, I had a health emergency and ended up in the hospital that weekend, but the date was set, so my parents and brother drove the 5 hours there to get the dog. Everything goes super well, they all connect well, it's decided that this puppy will indeed be a great fit. Time to introduce the cast. F, my father, M, my mother, B, my brother, EM, entitled mother. Now, for the 5 hours back. It's faster to take the highway, so my dad gets on the highway while my brother and his 50-pound dog are in the back seat having the time of their lives. Everything is going super well, and then out of nowhere, boom! EM merged right into the driver's side at 60 miles per hour. Everyone, including poor dog, is panicking, making sure all limbs are attached. Nobody seems injured and my dad pulls over to the right shoulder, as does EM. EM gets out of the car. "Oh my god, I am so sorry, I was on my phone." Side note, why the hell would you even admit that? And your car just came out of nowhere. F, are you okay? That was a pretty serious collision. EM, I'm fine, but can we just get this over with? F, hold on, let me call the police. EM, no, don't do that. There's no need for them to know. F, you do realize it's the standard practice. EM, look, I'll pay in cash, but my insurance cannot know and you cannot call the police. F, what? EM, my baby girl had a couple misunderstandings where she wasn't at fault, obviously, but now my insurance is mad and I can't afford them finding out. F, look, I want to do this legally and my wife already wrote down your plates. Meanwhile, B is out of the car snapping pics. EM, stop taking pictures! F, look, can you please just give me your insurance? We can sort this out later. Here's my info, here's my personal cell, here's my email if you want pics of the accident for a claim. EM slowly realizes she actually needs pics of the accident. Fine, here's my email, you can send the pictures now. F, and your insurance? EM realizes she really can't get out of this situation. Here it is, but please call me first before them. M, by the way, cops should be there in about 30 minutes. Also, the dog is about to pee in the car because it's been a hectic day. EM, what? Look, you have my info, I'm going to leave. Spades off. Cops show up about 45 minutes later, get F, M and B statements. Realize nobody was hurt, so they don't actually give a crap and leave. Now, this should be the end, right? No. F goes to file the claim along with the pictures and everything else, and it turns out EM already tried to claim we hit her. Now, these pics clearly show the driver door is smashed as well as EM's bumper, plus my dad had a police contact to back this up, so EM is threatened with filing a false report. Honestly, no one cared enough at this point to figure out if she got charged, and EM calls my father furious. I thought we were going to resolve this between ourselves, like adults. You already know my baby girl was blamed for things that weren't her fault and now you just want to make my life harder. But you went to your insurance first. F is ultimately confused, but since he has a spotless record of his 35 years driving, the insurance is understanding. Tells him where to get the damage fixed for cheap, even though EM and her insurance covered all the costs, where to rent a car, etc. Well, When he's getting the car fixed, they're in touch with EM's insurance, and it turns out not only was her daughter at fault for 2 accidents in a month, but EM tried to pull his BS in those cases as well. Plus, since she had done this, the insurance company was on high alert when she claimed to be the injured party in an accident, most likely to get money as her premiums must have skyrocketed. And 3 accidents in 2 months was way too much for them, so they dropped her like a hot potato. Have fun finding a new company with that history, Karen. I guess EM thought my father was somehow responsible, so she started emailing, calling, testing at all hours of the day and night, and my father had to change his number and email. It all turned out great in the end. Hilariously, the driver's side door that was replaced looked so much better than the rest of the car that my dad got mad the company did such a good job replacing it, but there was really no other major damage. Few scraps that they fixed there as well. My dog got McDonald's as a reward for being such a good boy throughout the ordeal, because we had no doggy treats in the car and nobody had any injuries. EM and her daughter are probably still pulling these scraps somewhere, but luckily not to us. Entitled mother tries to public shame me for having hobbies, gets hit by karma in return. Disclaimer, not a native speaker and the story happened 10 plus years ago, so it's probably not 100% accurate. Some context first. I live in the seaside resort where the majority of the population is white, conservative and quite well off. This story takes place while I was still in primary school, so I think I was around 8 or 9 years old, not exactly sure. In the primary school I went to, basically everyone knew each other and most of the parents were friends, leading to the creation of a sort of community. My parents and I were labeled as outcasts, and while they tried to be friendly with us, we weren't invited to parties, barbecues or even birthdays. Now, what did we do to deserve such a treatment? Well, exist I guess? They never gave us any real reason, but I think it was a mix of me being black, my mother not quite fitting into the lovely soccer mom archetype, and my dad's past. He's from that town and used to hang out with the metalheads when he was younger, before basically disappearing for several years to travel around the world. Anyway, at that time I had average to good grades, but was often reprimanded by teachers because I was talking with my classmates during our lessons, especially with my best friend at the time that we'll call F for the rest of the story. The other parents didn't like us very much, but Ev's mother, the EM of the title, took it to a whole other level. She absolutely hated our guts. I think it started when my mother became really good friend with her ex-husband to the point that I was banned from going to her house even for F's birthday. F and I bonded a lot because of our mutual love of video games, but while F wasn't allowed to play during the week, only on Wednesdays and during the weekend, and he was limited to 1 or 2 hours, my parents did not care a lot about me playing during the week, as long as I did my homeworks and had good grades. This infuriated EM because F often came to my house when he was with his father to play video games, so when her son's grades started to drop a little, she went off on my parents, calling my mother on her cell phone. EM: Yes, are you OP's mother? Mom: Yeah, what can I do for you? EM: Look, my son's grades have dropped significantly and I think your son is to blame. He is disturbing the balance of our family and causing us to have to punish our son. Your son has a bad influence on my son and on the other pupils as well. He's not playing outside or doing sports like other kids. Instead, he just keeps playing his stupid video games or reading fantasy novels. I would like for you to punish your son. Take his DS and tell him to stop contacting my son. Mom: I understand your concern and we'll discuss the issue with my husband. My mother was pissed, because it wasn't the first time we had to deal with that woman, and EM even went to the teachers to ask them to put us in different classes. If I was already treated like trash before, it got even worse, and that's around that time when other pupils start playing a game where they basically ignore me and saying crap like, "Oh, I think I heard a voice in the wind," when I was talking. I also got bullied and thrown stones at for being black, but that's a different story. Now, if you want a satisfying ending, while the shunning continued throughout the rest of primary school and part of middle school, eventually F and I parted ways because we weren't enjoying the same things anymore and he became kind of an idiot. EM's perfect boy had really bad grades, was berated by the teachers in our high school because he never worked during or outside of classes and was only disturbing everyone else. He also got into parties, alcohol and drugs and was rejected by every school and universities he applied to, so he was forced to enter an expensive private school. I live in Europe and here private schools aren't usually the best, especially in the field he and I are in, and public schools are way better and also free. In high school, I was one of the best students of my class. I was in the same class as F. And because his mother assisted to the reunion where the teachers decided to give an award to the best students each trimester, she had to watch the teacher praise me while she got a stink eye for F's behavior. One day she even called me to ask me if I could give her son lessons because he was failing too hard this trimester. I'm kind of sorry for F, but his mother is a monster of entitlement. I should also add that due to an incident that occurred just a few weeks ago, she's now getting shunned by all the other parents from that group. God is great, my friends. Entitled kid begs for my tickets at arcade. I'd say this story happened about a year ago at this point. Cast: me, yours truly. B, brother. EK, entitled kid. E, helpless employee. Let's begin. This story takes place at a pizza buffet in Ocala, Florida. Me, my brother and Papa were all done eating and decided to go to the arcade that was in the restaurant. We had coins and we were ready to force as many tickets as possible. There weren't any good prizes, we just wanted the tickets. Enter EK. This little brat waltzes in and starts playing some games. We didn't think much of him, so we kept playing. It was when I went to redeem some tickets that all this went down. My brother was playing a game and wasn't paying attention to EK, who thought it was right to walk over and yank our tickets away from us. M. Excuse me, those are our tickets. EK. So? M. So you can have them. You can just take them from us. EK. I don't care, you weren't using them, so I can have them. My brother then proceeds to try and take them back. EK. Hey, give them back. B. You can't have them, they're ours. E hears this and tries to interfere. Excuse me, young man, can you give that boy his tickets back? EK. No, they're mine. He's trying to steal them from me. E doesn't believe it and EK's mom hears. Game over, kiddo. The mom comes in, yells at him and takes him home. I bet he got a nice scolding. In the end, me and B didn't get anything with our tickets, but we had the feeling that they were well earned. You're making my daughter gay. So, this happened back in high school. I had just come out as B and my best friend said she was too. So, after a few weeks of talking about it, decided to date, but take things slow as it was our first non-hetero relationship. Needless to say, as with most high school relationships, it didn't work out and we agreed mutually to break up. At this time, I'd also come out to my very conservative parents who were just getting back to talking to me when my mom got a phone call and left the house to take it outside. This she never does. She popped her head in a few minutes later. M. Did you date X? Me. Yeah, but we agreed it wasn't working out. She then sat opposite and snapped at me that her mother was furious and that your daughter forced mine to be with her, told me so. She's making my daughter gay. This led to a very long meeting with my head of year at school. She apparently reported me for assault, we never went that far, and harassment and wanted me expelled. Fortunately, my head of year is a lesbian. She brushed off EP's concerns with a "they're teenage girls, they'll fall out and make up." Alright guys, that was everything I had for today. I will be back tomorrow with more fresh stories. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you have enjoyed the video and subscribe. Have a nice day.